Hey yo, and welcome to our 5th episode of the Hardy Times. My name is Scott. We got a great show for you guys today.
I'm Leslie.
And we also have a special guest,
Diane Malley from Citizens Bank.
and she's going to talk about the mortgage process today. Last week I touched on a little bit about the mortgage process, the beginning step, but Diane can go into more detail about really what you need to do. So I'm glad we have her in today.
Thank you for
We're
having me.
excited. We really just wanted to give you guys an idea of the pre-approval process and then also the process once you go under contract. So, Diane, why don't you start with the pre-approval process?
Okay, so when you get pre-approved through me or somebody like me, a mortgage person, you're going to need to just have a conversation or apply online, and they're going to ask you just a few things: where you live, how much you make, your social security number, your date of birth, and how much you have in your bank accounts. And we put that through an automated system, and it goes through an automated underwriting system that can get you pre-approved. It shows you what you can afford, what the payments will look like, and what programs will be best to suit you.
Great.
That is good. I think a lot of people that want to buy a house for the first time are intimidated and scared of what kind of questions a mortgage lender is going to ask them to get their initial pre-approval. So, I mean, what you're saying, there's not much there. It's just to kick things off.
Yeah, it's all about income and assets. That's the thing. And then what backs that up with your supporting documentation is W-2s, tax returns, 2 months of bank statements, and 1 month of pay stubs. If you're self-employed, we get a little bit more in detail in the questions, but nothing that you wouldn't understand. It's all about the income and assets, so we see what the debt-to-income ratios are.
So once they talk with you, then they get an understanding, a very clear understanding of what they can afford monthly, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
Yeah, so then that's what we were talking about last week. It's really important to know that so you don't get your heart set on a house that you won't be able to get a loan for.
Exactly.
Or vice versa, which means you might think that $400,000 is out of your question. You think that you could only afford $300,000, but after talking to me, you may find out that $400,000 may be attainable for you, because surprisingly, what that would be in a monthly payment.
Yeah.
Definitely. So I can't stress enough, before you start the home buying process, get pre-approved. It'll save you the embarrassment of looking at houses that you can afford or maybe under. Like Diane talked about, you're looking at houses for
Pleasantly
3,
surprised.
but you can afford 4. So it's so important to talk to her first. Get the ball rolling with her. It's not a scary proposition.
Not at all.
How quick is the conversation?
Oh, it's a 10-minute conversation over the phone, and also you can never do it too early. So even if you're not looking till next year, it will be a great idea to get pre-approved now so that you know what you can save for. Because we have programs that only have 3% down, 5% down, 3.5% down. You might think you needed 20% down, and that's not the case. But in any case, we can get you prepared for what you're going to be doing next year.
Can you give us an example? So maybe just on like a $300,000 house, what would that look
what
like
would that look
for a
like?
mortgage?
So
And how much would you need to bring to closing and all that?
okay, so if it was about $5,000 in the property taxes, that's a big thing, okay, property taxes, because it's principal and interest, taxes, and insurance. So if we look at a $300,000 house, the closing cost, you'd need about, I'm gonna look at a 5% down loan, so 5% of $300,000 would be $15,000, and the closing costs for that are also gonna be about $15,000, okay, that's mortgage, title, transfer tax, and the escrows, and that's considering about $5,000 in taxes, like I said. So that's $30,000, but you can get a seller assist for that, which would be up to 3%, which goes back to $9,000 off of the 15, so you'd only need $6,000 for closing costs plus your $15,000. You could get in for about $21,000. And your principal and interest for every $100,000 that you borrow, it's about $500 a month. So if you're looking at a loan amount of about $285, with taxes of about $5,000, you're talking about maybe under $2,000, maybe $1,800 a month.
Yeah.
That's great to know, because I think a lot of people have apprehensions of, okay, I get into the process, how much do I have to put down? What's my monthly mortgage going to be? And there's some other options. You don't have to put 20% down. There's different things you could do, different programs. So keep that in mind as a buyer too. Another question that I get a lot that Diane, you could help us out with is, doesn't have to be exact, but roundabout, what are interest rates like right now?
So interest rates right now are around 4.5% on good credit. That is assuming good credit. It could be even a little lower on some cases. Jumbo loans might be different. FHA might be a little bit lower. might be a little bit higher, but that's average right now.
Cool.
And the APR somewhere right around there too, if it's 4.5, it would be like 4.8.
That's not too
pretty
bad.
low.
Back in your day, not to make you sound old, but back way in your day, and you
I think that's even
were
before me, but there was
way in your day. So interest rates were what? I heard some
they're
scary stories back in the
in the
day.
1980s when I was just a small child.
A wee little tyke.
A wee little tyke. They
When
were
we were-
18%, believe it or not, in the
18%.
80s. And
That's
then they went
crazy
down to 10, and
to
people
think
thought
about.
they hit the lottery.
Mhm.
And then in the 90s, in the early 90s, they went, and even in the late 90s, they were like 7 point. So when I bought my first house in 1997, they were 7.25.
Wow.
That's what I got for
Okay.
my first one, and I paid a point for that. You really don't have to pay a point today. And we're-
You probably felt like it was a steal, right?
I thought it was a
Yeah.
steal. I
Yeah.
thought I was getting a good deal. So,
Huh.
yeah,
So
rates
4.5.
are really great.
That's good. And I know they were in the 5s a little bit ago, so they have
Yeah.
dropped down a little bit. So
They
it
dropped.
still
Good.
is a really good time to get in.
Les, you know what that made me think of?
What?
When we were 18, 12, 7, now we're 5.5. Bitcoin. That's been a similar path for Bitcoin too.
Very volatile.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about Bitcoin for
I
all
won't
you
talk about it.
investors out there. But that's so useful. I think that should help clear out a lot of preconceived notions about what a mortgage, the first steps.
Yeah.
And Diane went to way more detail than I did last week. So I hope you got a lot from that, and you have a better idea going forward of what the steps need to be.
Yeah, and then also just talk about quickly what happens once you do secure a house. You can afford it. You can get the loan. How do you get to closing?
Okay, so once Scott finds you the house, then you go, you call me and you say, hey, we got the contract. Scott will send it to me and Leslie will send it. And then we talk about the lock for that day, and then we order the appraisal, we order title, we collect those documents if I haven't already, the W-2s, the tax returns, the pay stubs, the bank statements. We take all of that stuff along with the appraisal when it comes in, and we go right to the underwriter. Once the underwriter reviews the file, she comes out with the commitment letter, which is important. That commits us to giving you a loan. And then there may be 2 or 3 things that you still have to turn in, and then we go to closing. We try to make it a very smooth process.
And what's like the typical turnaround time?
I would say the average in the last year, it's gone down to a 30-day. So
Okay.
the average is between 30 and 60, with a lot of people wanting to move pretty quickly. If you don't have a house to sell and you're a first-time home buyer, that's very easy to do. If you have a house to sell, you're just coordinating that with Scott. He'll
Monday, yeah.
coordinate if he's selling your existing home and you're buying a home. He'll coordinate both sales to happen on the same day.
Just to piggyback off
Yeah.
that real quick is strengthening a buyer's offer. If you're able to close in 30 days, 35 days, and Diane's saying that you can turn that around that quickly, your offer looks better. Let's say you have the same offer, same everything, and you can close in 30. The other offer wants to close in 65, 70. Believe me, 99 out of 100, that offer will be accepted more than the offer that the closing date's 65 days
Longer
out. So
settlement date, yeah.
if you have that flexibility, some people need to sell a home, some people need to break a lease. If you have that flexibility, it definitely strengthens your offer.
Don't forget, when you're a renter, if you're in an apartment and your lease doesn't end till June, when you close in April, your first payment is not until June. So you have a 1-month
That's a good
buffer.
point. Yeah.
So if you're in an apartment, you kind of get a benefit of being able to move slower. You don't have to move on that same day, be out of the apartment and buy the house, because you're not going to pay a mortgage and a rent on the same month.
Yeah,
It's useful.
great
Yeah.
point.
Useful
Yeah.
info.
Cool. Well, I just wanted to, talk a little bit more about that process. So thank you, Diane, for being our guest and coming in to
Killing
talk
it.
about that.
Thank you, D-Money.
I'm so happy to be on my favorite show of the week. It beats Netflix and regular TV. any
You're
day.
too
That
kind.
is
You're too
awesome.
kind.
I love it. So yeah, we wanted to include you in the rest of the show. So
Great.
let's keep things moving along. We need to let you guys know Scott has a big trip coming up.
do.
So we're excited for him. We're gonna miss him. Where are you going?
Yep. So I am going to New Zealand, leaving in 6 days. So I'm going to be gone for quite some time.
Yeah.
Very excited about the trip, and it got us talking about our favorite excursion, our favorite adventure, our favorite trip, whether it be California, somewhere out of the country. What is the most fun experience you had or crazy story attached to it. And we were talking about it earlier, and I told them my story about, I go to California every year. One of my best friends lives in California, out in Santa Monica. So I go to visit him once a year. And 3 years ago, I went for, I think it was like roughly 7 or 8 days. I went with 3 or 4 friends, and I left a little bit early to come back because my cousin was getting married in Philadelphia. It was around the same time as a crazy, crazy snowstorm. So I got stuck in Houston. That was my layover coming back, was Houston. So after being in California for like 7, 8 days, wanting to just rest, try to do the right thing and come back early, make sure my tux was ready to go, I get stuck in Houston. Just my luck. And while I'm there, I'm stuck at the airport because I got to get delayed for another day, so I'm trying to figure out my hotel, what I'm going to do, and I'm at the airport bar getting some dinner, and I start talking to this couple, and they're trying to get me out to the NRG Stadium because the rodeo's in town. So I'm like, rodeo, you know, I was just in California
They're like,
for
"Just
8
come with
days.
us, come hang with us."
That was their pitch, and I'm like, thanks, but I was just in California for 8 days. I'm a little dehydrated, just need some R&R, but they bought me a shot. So once we started talking,
That's
after
how it
that
starts.
point, they were a cool young couple. It seemed like they were fun to hang out with. So they convinced me to go to the rodeo at NRG Stadium. Now that's not really my cup of tea, but I was like, all right, you know what? I'll give it a shot. New experience. I'm in Houston. That's what this is all about. So they sucker me in. I go to the NRG Center in Houston. To the rodeo, I have no idea what to expect. I thought it was just going to be like nothing but funnel cake and people riding bulls. Well, I was right about that. So I get there, I order funnel cake. I'm watching bull riding. There's also like the portion of it where someone's like wrangling up a calf, and everybody's dressed with their cowboy hat, their boots, their bow ties, I think it's called. Like those giant like little circle with the strings. Bow tie? I don't know. It's not a bow tie. It's something
It
around.
is something like that. What the heck?
But
Ebola.
Ebola,
Yeah,
that's what.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
Ebola.
Not Ebola.
Not
to be
Ebola,
mistaken
completely different,
by
but
Ebola.
Ebola tie. For all you football fans, Phillip Rivers always wears one. And I'm like, what am I doing here? But it turned out to be a great night. And what it is they have that portion of it. They make a big deal of like the national anthem. They have like this crazy pageantry for that. They do the bull riding. They do the funnel cake. They do like the fashion, the cowboy boots, all that good stuff. And then there's a country concert that happens after that.
Oh,
so
fun.
Nice.
it was Ryan Bigham. I never heard of him until I was there, but he put on a great performance. And it was like $40 for that whole excursion. So that was really, really cool experience. It happened by accident. Me just being, stuck at the airport in Houston. I mean, I have a lot of travel experience, but that one sticks out because that came from left field. I had no idea I was going to go down that
That's
path.
fun.
Yeah,
So
Les.
Yeah.
I mean, that seemed funny on my end, but you have something that you want to share with us.
Yes. Traveling, I love to travel. But I just remember in college, I really wanted to go study abroad because it was, a great excuse to go travel and, on your parents' dime. And,
Much better on your parents' time.
and experience a new place. So I had my heart set on going to Australia. So I studied abroad there, junior year of college, and it was so fun. We were in Broad Beach, Australia, stayed in this beautiful apartment complex a block from the beach. It was kind of like a Miami beach town. It was amazing. We all stayed together. It was a big group of us. And I wound up meeting my husband there.
How about that?
So you never know what's going to happen when you go travel, and it's just not what you expect. Like you said, you just never know.
Yeah.
But had so many cool experiences there. Like I went skydiving. I went, traveled all over Australia, and then I also stopped over in New Zealand. So I'm so excited
She's
to
been
hear
giving me some
about it.
pointers and some stuff to think about.
Went bungee jumping in New Zealand.
Awesome.
Second
Awesome.
tallest bungee jump in the world. I cannot believe I did that.
That is
But
awesome. And I
it's
think
just kind of one of those things, like when you go, like you're like, I might as well.
you're open.
Do that
yeah.
there.
And we want to keep with that
Yeah.
theme, and that's kind of what I talked about. When you go on a trip, you're on vacation. So just be open to new experience, meeting new people. You never know what can happen. I think when you traveled abroad, that was the last thing you were thinking about.
No, yeah.
Right? And it came to fruition. And that's an awesome, awesome story. Like, does it get any better than that? No,
No,
it
that's
doesn't.
a good one.
And D-Money, I'm sure you got some travel stories
Yeah,
too.
tell us about
Yeah, I
yours.
mean, my two favorite places were Australia and Hawaii, so I've been there as well. I didn't stop in New Zealand though, Scott, so I'll be interested to see how that is.
I
But
will
we
fill you
did
in.
a lot of adventures when we were there, you know, on helicopters. I'm a little afraid of heights, so there was no skydiving or bungee jumping in my future, but I had a lot of fun. We do things, you know, horseback riding and all with the family, so it was a good time.
Nice.
Yeah, you'll have fun.
That sounds
New
like a lot of
Zealand's
fun.
awesome. It's like, it's beautiful. It's like Alaska, Hawaii, and Colorado combined in one place.
Yeah,
It's
that's wonderful.
amazing.
Also, the set of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
So I've heard there's going to be a lot of Gollum
Lots-
jokes, I'm
lots
sure,
of
out
sheep.
there. Lots of sheep.
Yep.
Yeah, sheep are fun, I guess. I don't know. I don't think I've. When the last time I've seen it? I guess at the zoo is the last time I've seen
Yeah.
sheep.
They have red stag out there. That's a
Red
big-
stag.
like a moose kind of a
And the
deer and a
people,
moose.
the people
Mm.
there are so friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the wallabies, right? They have those in New Zealand too.
The wallabies?
Wallabies and kangaroos.
And koala bears.
And koala
And koala bears. I'll try not to
yeah.
sneak one on the plane
That
with
was
me.
Australia though.
Yeah, that's
Koala
Australia.
bears,
But they
Australia?
must
Yeah.
be in, not New Zealand now? I think they're right in the
I
same
don't-
spot.
yeah,
Not far away
close
from it.
by. I don't know.
Okay. I just want to make it back in one piece, and I started. I'm
I
leaving
know.
Monday.
It's cool.
I'm leaving
though.
Monday, and I really haven't packed much. I got to find my passport number
Oh
one.
God.
So that's on my to-do list. But other
It's
than that,
gotta be
I gotta
summer
get
there,
moving.
right?
Summer. So the
Yeah.
seasons
Yeah.
are flipped.
Yeah.
So it's winter here. It's going to be the tail end of summer there.
We looked
so
it up, isn't it? It's like 17-hour difference or something.
18
Yeah,
hours.
it's a
Yeah.
lot,
18 hours, and it's going to be from here to LAX is 6 hours, and then
Mhm.
18 hours from LAX to Auckland, which is the North Island.
Yeah.
So I got to. I got some movies and some shows to watch.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, and
Yeah.
they give you all that on the plane. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. That'll
You
make
get
it
your own
perfect.
TV on the back of the plane.
Yeah.
Oh,
On the back of the
VIP.
seat in front of you.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
VIP
And
life.
Yeah.
and unlimited alcohol too.
Unlimited
Oh,
alcohol.
Drink up.
Yeah.
That'll help me sleep
And
Yeah.
you're flying
if I'm there
Qantas?
18 hours. Qantas.
Is that what you're flying, Qantas Air?
I'm
That's
American.
what we did.
Yeah, so it's Qantas from LAX to New
To-
Zealand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
American Airlines to LAX.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. We can't wait to hear about it. So make sure you guys tune in when he gets back so we can hear all about it.
We'll put plenty of pictures on Facebook,
Yeah,
Insta,
we'll
all
be
that good
stalking
stuff.
Yeah, can't wait.
There's gonna be a lot of good stuff I'll put up.
Yeah. I'm so excited for you. Okay, so now let's do our game. We love our games.
Oh, yeah.
And
My favorite part of the show.
Keeping
speaking
it
of
travel related.
yeah,
That's right.
travel related airports, let's do our Can You Not game. So we came up with a few. I'll start
It's
it
gonna
off.
be good.
I'll
It's
start it
gonna
off.
be good.
Okay.
This is my biggest Can You Not. I'm very passionate about this. Can you not sit at the window seat and not sleep? Like
Ooh.
that is what it's there for.
The sleeping seat.
That is the sleep seat.
So you can lean.
So you can lean on the window and sleep the entire way.
Can you sleep on flights?
I sleep the entire plane
Do
flight.
you?
Oh,
Okay.
you're so lucky.
Yeah.
I know not everybody
But
has
like,
that.
you know, the
ability.
window seat is the prime.
The sleep seat.
That's
Yeah.
the sleep seat.
So when I see people that
Agreed.
aren't sleeping there and I'm stuck in the middle, I'm just like, can you not sit at that seat?
That's fair. And you know what I was thinking about too? If
Yeah.
you're sleeping in the aisle seat, you have the food cart coming back and forth. So if you have an elbow or a foot hanging off,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
going to wake you
not
up
an aisle
anyway.
person.
Yeah.
I'm not an aisle seat
Can
person.
So-
you not run my foot over?
Exactly.
Oh, that's a good
Can you not
one.
run my foot over? So
And
notice,
nose my
anyone
elbow.
flying in a plane, if you're looking to sleep, don't sleep in the aisle.
Yeah.
All right, go to the window.
Yeah.
Flight
But don't take
etiquette.
my window seat when I'm flying.
Not
That's
hers.
right. Let's
Not
not
hers.
All right, what do you got? Scott?
Well, I have
We're
one.
done?
I'm going to step in.
You go.
I have one that literally happened to me. Do not read a newspaper with a plane crash.
Can
while you're
you
on a
not?
plane. Can you not? Please
Yikes.
do that.
Yeah, people are like uptight
That's-
enough. That's the last thing
That's
they need
right.
to see
You
is
don't
somebody
need to
else
see it.
reading that.
Yeah.
No, that's just, you got to keep people at ease.
Yeah.
Come
I
on.
don't
Like,
blame
do you
That's
think they
enough to
thought
make
about
me
that?
nervous.
I actually said it to him. I was like,
Can
do
you not?
realize?" And I said, can you not?
Well,
like,
did you
why
yo
did
butt him?
bring that on? And
That's-
he goes, oh yeah.
That's when you call someone chief. You go, yo, chief. You
Yeah,
sure about
yo,
reading
chief.
that? You chief them. Or yo, boss. You might think about, not
Yes.
reading that.
Yeah, come on. I was on a little tiny thing from Maryland, so it was only a 9-seater plane. And
No,
Oh,
I
God.
was
See, that
all
makes it
nervous.
even more
It was
scary.
bad weather out. We were going to be bouncing around, and that's what he puts on. And
Christ
I was like,
almighty.
oh.
Christ almighty. So I'm going to go into my
What do
canyon
you
now.
got?
I think everyone has dealt with this before.
Yeah.
So on a flight, you're in tight quarters. Can you not forget to put deodorant on the day that you fly?
Oh, yeah.
Big one.
If you're like literally touching knees and you're that close to
Yeah.
somebody, put deodorant on.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
me a favor, don't stink. If you don't stink,
That is
I'll be
the
happy.
absolute
Take a
worst.
I'll do my end. I'll shower, I'll put deodorant on. Just do me a favor, do not stink.
Please.
We got someone chiming in. Can you not pull the back of my seat and grab my hair when you're getting up? Yes, agreed.
Good one.
I don't know what
like-
kind of flight you're on.
Well, no, like they grab
No,
the
'cause you're
seat and your
women,
hair.
you know.
Oh,
you
accidentally
don't-
grab
you
the
don't
back.
get it. You
Oh,
don't
okay.
get
And
it.
they grab
The
the
hair,
seat
it pulls
and
your
they
hair.
grab
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was some kind of like
It's a good
special
one.
It
flight.
doesn't happen to you. You don't have long hair back there.
No, it's running away from my head, so I don't have enough hair.
That's girl problems.
That's right.
Yeah.
Girl problems.
What else you got,
What
Les?
else? Can you not eat like something with onions in it that's just gonna like stink up the whole flight the
Yeah,
whole
you don't
time?
want that.
Yeah, they open that up.
And then you got a crumb situation
Freeze
too.
that,
Yeah.
Like, can you not?
If you're eating, you got crumbs flying everywhere. Those Nature Valley bars. Do not eat a Nature Valley bar, the green wrapper, on a flight because you're going to take a bite and they're going to explode.
Get it all over you.
Don't do that.
I thought of one. Can you not
Yes.
ask
I
me
got
to
one.
get up in the middle of, I just got my thing down, I took something out, and I'm all ready, and then the person next to you has to get up and go to the bathroom.
Oh, totally.
Like, can you
You're like,
kind of time it?
I
you know what mean?
just
Try
got
to-
set
Yeah.
up here. Yeah. We got someone chiming in. Can you not, when they call Group A and your Group X, stand there in line? Yeah. I
Yeah.
hate that. Like, what
Yeah.
are you doing standing that whole time?
Airport etiquette.
Yeah.
I got another one. Can you not clap when the plane lands? Like, it just really just irks my nerves. Like,
People that do that have something wrong with them, but I'm not going to lie. After drinking a little bit on one of my flights, I did it as a joke.
yeah.
I did it as a joke,
I
just to
guess
see
when
people's
you're, like,
reactions.
Excited.
I've clapped
It's
before.
the same thing after a movie when people clap.
Yeah.
I know,
don't
when
know.
people clap after a movie, but Diane and Dawn in here in our office, they just had a really bad experience, and she's a
What?
flight attendant, so she
Oh,
is
she's
used to
seen
it
it.
all.
She's
And
probably got a
they
lot of content.
clapped at the end, because it was high winds.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah,
going
I
into
guess
the
if you're,
landing,
like-
that thing was like shaking.
So I think of like the
Thankful.
end of a football game, like you clap because the pilot did a good thing.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you clap and then you hoist the pilot up on everyone's shoulders and you're like, "Good job,
Good job."
pilot!" Maybe dump some
I know.
Gatorade on his head,
Like Sully.
like Sully.
We should
Sully,
do
I
that.
mean, you had to clap on that
Sully,
one. Landon
Tom
and
Hanks,
Hudson.
very underrated actor.
Yeah.
So
You got any more?
I got one more, and this happened to me before.
Okay.
If you're going on a long flight and you get queasy on flights, do not rent the movie Gravity. Just don't do it.
Why
My
is that?
buddy,
Okay.
he ordered the movie Gravity.
Yeah.
I saw him getting queasy. He was making this face, doing this,
Oh,
doing
God.
that.
Oh.
I saw it was about to happen. I got him the bag. By then, it was too late. And it was maybe about 20 minutes into our flight. It was layover, like going from California to Chicago and then back to Philly. It was about 10 minutes into the flight from LA to
Oh.
Chicago.
Oh,
So that was another 2.5, 3 hours of a smell in
that's
that's
very,
a
very
bad
tight quarters. So
not
you
okay.
want to avoid that. That wasn't
Okay,
a pleasant thing
can I
for
ask
me.
a question though?
Yes.
What does the movie Gravity have to do with that? Like, does it make you nauseous?
Have
that
you seen the movie Gravity?
I don't
Yeah,
think
So they're in space.
In the back, yeah.
They're in space. Yeah, it's with George Clooney. They're just. It's like I don't know
I know, but,
exactly
like,
what the plot is,
okay.
but they're in space. The whole movie is they're floating around space. So for somebody that is easily triggered by something like a plane, don't piggyback that with
Because you're
watching
already-
movie Gravity.
I know
You're already-
people
Your
get
stomach's
nauseous
already
on
queasy.
planes. I get that part, but
Yeah.
have you ever been affected by like a movie?
To get nauseous.
Yeah.
I just think if you're already nauseous, it's like if you get
Okay.
nauseous on a boat,
It's like motion
don't do
sickness.
anything like don't drink too much because it might get you more sick.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
Okay.
don't poke the bear. If you get nauseous on a flight, don't watch a movie while you're in space.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't do that.
No.
Do not
Take
do
some
that.
Dramamine. or
Can you
something. Does
not?
that help on the plane?
Can you not?
That's-
Dan Riley, I'm calling you out by name.
Oh,
Can
calling you
not
out
throw up on my leg?
Yes.
at the beginning of the flight.
Or even use the bag that they give you.
I was trying to give him the bag. He was late with the draw. I got it to him by then. It was just already going.
Too
I
late.
mean,
But we're going to change the topics from puking because I'm sure you guys had enough of that. Les,
That was
what did
good,
we
though.
talk about today? Let's do a quick recap.
yeah, okay, so we went over the whole pre-approval process. Hopefully you guys have a better understanding of that.
Mhm.
And the loan process once you go under contract. If you have any more questions, please ask us. We work with Diane. She's in our office. We can get you in touch. But yeah, we just hope you guys learned a little bit more about the mortgage process today. And then just so you guys know, since Scott will be away, he'll be away for 3 weeks.
You're lucky.
We will see you when, when he gets back. I think that's the beginning of March.
Beginning of March.
Yeah. So, yeah,
What, about a 3-week hiatus?
3-week hiatus, yeah.
I know you'll miss us, we'll miss you, but we'll be back in no time, and just appreciate all you guys, all your viewership. And Diane, any words of wisdom on the way out?
Get pre-approved, and I can't wait to hear about your trip. That's gonna be a good
Yeah.
one.
Yes.
It's gonna be a good show, so tune in.
Yep, I'm sure I'll have a lot of stories to tell.
Yeah.
Until then, we'll see you next time, and peace.
No.
You shall-